Hi, I'm Anya Charday, and thanks for coming to my shattered ventriloquist doll makeup tutorial. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how I become a ventriloquist, and then we'll go into the shatter effect. Right now, you're just going to see me erase my eyebrows, or at least get them pretty light. And this little trick I learned where you use a stick of glue and then some orange color corrector and then some concealer. I learned this off a social media course, but there's probably better videos out there that will show you more in depth. This is just so I can make my own eyebrows. I noticed that a lot of the tutorials I've seen and even dolls have thinner eyebrows, and my eyebrows, I really don't have any, but at the same time they're not that thin. So this is just a little method just to erase them, or should I say lighten them a little bit. And I'm just going to use this angular brush to put on some black gel, and I put on this black gel as a base so I know where my eyebrow will be. And then I'm going to go on top just to set it with some black eyeshadow using that same brush, and then clean it up with some concealer as I would do if I was doing my regular natural eyebrows. But yeah, I'm using this good old concealer brush. Everything will be in the description box too. I'm going to try to place them in order so you can, if you're interested in seeing what I use, you'll be able to know in order of what you see in this video. So I'm just going to use white and black as my eye makeup today, and I'm using the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk for a base, and then I'm going to set it with some white eyeshadow. So I know you all are like me because you're watching this video and you're inspired by the Halloween theme. And I love watching a good Halloween flick. What is your favorite Halloween movie? Comment below. I would love to know what your favorite Halloween movie is. Mine really is, and you're gonna laugh, it is Halloween Town. I love Halloween Town and Twitches. Every now and then I will watch Jason, Mike Myers and all that, but movies are getting really like realistic, a little creepy now. So yeah. But back to the video. So right now I am just carving out where my new crease is going to be, and this is just a great effect because with dolls, their eyes are huge. So this is just going to curve out where the eye structure is going to get very defined, and you'll be able to see the eyeball. You'll see the total effect once I get my foundation on and put on the white eyeshadow and white effect underneath my eye, but you'll see more in depth of that in a minute. Right now I'm just going to curve out that crease using some black gel liner and then black shadow on top to set it, and then kind of like smoke it out a little bit. But I'm going very softly with this brush. Yes, what I've learned about doing doll looks is that you're recreating an eye structure. So whatever eye makeup you use, you do have to put some kind of gel liner or like cut kind of crease effect so you can redefine that crease, because as what I just showed you was basically defining a new crease because I moved my eye. My eye is going to be in a different spot, as well as my eyebrow was moved into a different spot. But anyway, I just put a little bit of gel liner on my lash line. I didn't want to do a wing. I really just want to keep it real simple, and I put on these lashes. Yeah, I just put on these lashes because they were like right there. But you can pretty much put on some really bold lashes. Basically, just think about a doll, a ventriloquist doll that you just see lying around. Like, think about that. You can look up on Google and find something to give you that understanding. But right now, you're not really seeing it, but I'm actually mixing foundations because your face needs to be close to porcelain complexion as possible. And of course, I'm a brown girl. So when you're brown girl friendly, you have to find some different ways to make sure that foundation looks somewhat porcelain pale like. So I added different foundations together to really get that effect. And I'll have an description box if you're interested on seeing that. But right now I'm creating that eye I was telling you about. So I started out with a jumbo pencil from NYX in Milk. And then I set it with some white eyeshadow. But I pretty much stopped probably an inch and a half past my, I would say, lash line. I went a little farther past the lash line, and then I'm cutting it off right there with some gel liner, and that is just to create the fact that that's where my eyeball stops. But you can now see how it looks like I have a big eyeball. And I also put that jumbo pencil in Milk on my waterline too. You must put it on your waterline to get that effect. And I didn't have any bottom lashes, so I just created some using some liquid liner from NYX. And right now I am carving out that crease, and I'm using like a cool tone brown. I'll have it in the description box. I can't even remember. I think it's Beauty Treats. But yeah, I have it in the description box. But I'm carving out my face. And when you're doing this, you want to kind of smile. Where the hollows of your cheeks are and where you're going into almost close to your nose, you want to make sure that's very, very carved. And then add some blush. And the blush needs to be heavily put on because dolls have very, very rosy cheeks. And I'm using actually 2 different blushes to create this effect. And then I use the same shadow that I use to contour on my nose. I'm also contouring, or I'm carving out around my chin. And this is because a Tranquilis, their chin, they have like a interesting chin, and I want to carve that out. And then I'm highlighting my nose with some Champagne Pop. And then I'm going to highlight also right on the top of my chin. And that's just going to bring focus to my chin there as if it was like, you know, broken. And yeah. And right now I'm going to really get it all together with adding some lines. You just want to take any straight edge object and get some gel liner. Gel liner works best, I found out. And just carve it out. I do like around where my end of my lip, bottom lip is. Yeah, and then go straight down, set it with some eyeshadow, put some brown eyeshadow around on the outside of it, and that's just going to act as if it is broken. And then to highlight it, you would use some, I use that jumbo pencil in Milk again in the in between, because you want to look like your chin is moving, and you know that Ventriloquist look, okay? And then you want to cancel out your lips. So I'm using some concealer. And then I'm setting it with powder so it doesn't move or budge. And now we're going to recreate our lips. And you're going to see it. Yes. Just make sure you use like, you're making a heart, if you can see. You're not going too far out. That's why you have to cancel your lips. But I use some pink lips to go with my pink blush. Are you ready? Let's get into the shadow effect. And I'm using some body paint. Black body paint. Again, I'll have everything in the description box. And what you want to do is you just want to make squiggly lines going in a direction of where your focal point is. My focal point is going to be right in between my eyebrows. So when you look at a shattered piece of glass, you notice that there's always a focal point. It's an area where the glass is shattered the most. So right here, you're seeing where I'm drawing lines out of where that focal point is starting to form. And they don't have to be like straight. It's actually awesome if they're actually looking different in different ways, because broken glass doesn't all look the same. But I'm going into where my eye socket is. I mean, she's going to be broken, so she has to have a broken eye at some point, right? And I'm going around my rosy cheeks. I love this paint, and this is water activated, so it sets. So instead of using like cream paint where you have to set it, it's better because it sets itself easily and it stays. Now I'm going to shade in some spots, and what that's going to work as is as if it was broken in that spot. And you can use your own judgment of where you want it to be broken, but you can also look at some pictures, just Google it, and you'll see where shattered glass you can, when you break something, you'll see where the focal point is, and usually it has in that spot where a lot of the broken pieces are in one specific spot. And then there's broken pieces on other ends. This is where you're seeing. But when you're doing these squiggly lines, you want to make sure that they're all connected. You're going to be forming somewhat of like a circle of object, if I should say. Yeah. So right now I'm just going to connect them all together, drawing more lines. And make sure you understand how your hair is going to be. My hair was kind of in the way. So if your hair is going to be like back out of your face, you can kind of make the squiggly lines go like more around the forehead and longer. Mine's, I pretty much made them shorter because my hair kept getting in the way. And of course, you have to highlight it. So I'm using some white body paint. And that's just going to highlight it. And you want to highlight every other area. So if you highlight, like you're seeing here, I'm highlighting there. So the next part, I will highlight around that. So you won't be highlighting like everything, but you'll just highlight certain, like every other area. And that just makes it pop more. Because this effect really is off from far away. Like it looks cool, like you're seeing it on screen now. But when it's really far away, you can really, really see that look like it's cracked. And that completes the look. I hope you all love it. Give the video a thumbs up if you're ready for more Halloween looks, because I have so many more in store for you. And happy Halloween if you're watching this on Halloween. Mwah! Love you all. Bye.